What's that expression that they got? Talking heads. But anyways, today is the 9th. The 7th was the day that basically had one of those days where I said, this is why I don't keep a gun in the house. I was thinking like, I don't want to do this. It's too hard. It's too painful. It's too miserable. And then I expostulated. My life philosophy basically is get through those days, wake up, and see how the next day goes. So, 7th was a bad day. The 8th, which was yesterday, was a very good day. Which I walked outside, and I walked the furthest I ever walked. I was able to do a very difficult part of my book that I'm working on. My voice gave out, but I wanted to work some more. I just didn't have the voice for it. The nerves were fine. And then I also lifted weights, which I just used like a different tactic since I've been paranoid about that lately, which is I just went slower. See, what I would do before is I would do 3 sets, blasting one muscle group all in a row, and then rest, let my heart settle down. Use one of them little squeezy things for your grip, and while my heart settled down, and then do 3 sets of something else, and then squeezy thing. This time I just like curls. You put your elbow on the inside of your knee and you do your curls, and then I would rest, and then I would do curls standing, and I would rest, and I would do curls out in front of me, bent over, and then I would rest. And that was the first time I worked out in about 8 days. And I did fall over doing flies, which is you just lean over at the waist and have the weights down in front of you like this, and then lift them back. I fell over and I was like, we'll skip that one for today. I'm not trying that one again. But when I move, I'll buy more weights, and I'll have 2 sets of weights, which I never had to have before, and a heavier set of weights for things that don't involve my legs, and a lighter set of weights. Which I was able to do that with 25 pounds before, but my legs didn't cooperate yesterday. I just fell over on my butt. So, since I've turned into a fat bastard in my old age, it's not that big a deal. It used to be hard when I weighed 158 pounds, or sometimes as little as 148 pounds at 6'1", and go fishing and have to sit on a rock. I started bringing a towel. It's hard to sit down when you don't have much to sit on. But now that I weigh 175 instead of 148 or 153, I carry a little more weight back there. So it's a good place for me to fall. And of course, I'm always mindful of falling, so I make sure I don't drop the 25-pound dumbbells on my feet, which my toes have taken enough abuse. No more Tocado del Fugue videos. But today is a Monday, so tomorrow is when the guy that's going to help me move is going to come over, and I don't know how that'll go. I was thinking, I don't know, it'd be a pain in the ass, but I was thinking about riding a scooter, since I don't have any checks, to an ATM, getting some money out. That way I'd have like $1,400 in the house when he shows up tomorrow, in case, some of these apartment buildings, like the last one I lived in, they have like an on-site office where you go in there. I don't know if he would need to set up an appointment, or if that'd be worth my time today, or what. But yeah, I only have $1,000 in cash in the house when he shows up, which probably won't be enough. But if he sets up an appointment, maybe I should text him today and ask him about it. But if he sets up an appointment like tomorrow, then like I got like a $500 limit, $400 limit at a non bank ATM. So I can only withdraw so much by sticking the card in the ATM. But yeah, I don't want to get too philosophical or anything like that. I do have something I'd like to talk about. As far as like offsetting suffering with meaning, or finding something that you want to do or a goal to keep you from just lying there and being miserable, or you know, it's like a teeter-totter. On the one side, you got suffering. You have to set something heavy on the other side that's meaningful to you. So, you're just not weighed down by all the suffering, you know. And today, I'm going to get off here quick and get out there walking. And I want to try to walk further than I've walked before. And not excessively so, because that's be stupid. The thing I have to worry about is I have so far to go to get back to the house, and then suddenly my legs are like, oh no, dude, we don't really feel like doing this anymore. And then, what happens then? Then it becomes like a nightmare. But at the same time, I want to walk somewhere. I don't want to walk, like I said, back and forth in front of the house. My goal is actually to I used to do this like constantly in all sorts of weather. Not that long ago, less than 4 years ago, is to walk to the speedway, which is I don't know, less than a third of a mile away and back. I can see it, but it's like seeing mountains off in the distance. It's a lot further away than it looks. So the way I walk is I go down this alley, and then there's this parking lot where there's a church on one side and a dentist's office on the other side. It's a big parking lot. And it's the parking lot I always wondered why the drug dealers that lived in this building didn't just meet in the parking lot. Instead, they would do their deals out front, or they would do their deals from inside the building. It's like, you don't shit where you eat, man. If I was wanting to play detective, I could have just filmed them out the window, or recorded them on the porch. Record their voices on the porch talking about drug deals, or recorded them smoking crack on the porch, or whatever. I just I thought that was the landlord's responsibility because I'm naive. But not sure. Oh, that parking lot. Yeah, that's where I'm walking now, is in that parking lot. And yeah, I'm gonna walk further in the parking lot and then circle around and then just keep doing that, depending upon how I'm walking or how I feel on the first part of the walk. So, yeah. So I'm gonna go do that, and like I said, until I get my shit together and get out of here, I'll keep the videos short. But I'm here every day, so that's worth something. It's not going to help you kill much time. somebody told me once the longer the video, the better they liked it because they found me relaxing. And I said I find myself to be a human sleeping pill. And sometimes I would put on a video of myself just to go to sleep too. Because the acronym is ASMR, I think. It's hard to keep up with these damn millennials and their expressions. But it has something to do with having a relaxing tone to your voice or a relaxing manner about you. Perhaps. I don't know. My voice sounds like shit to me. And I'm really not happy with the audio book that I'm making, but I'm kind of rushing it along because I want to give it to that dude on Tuesday. I don't know if I can finish it. I got about an hour and 40 minutes of it done. I figure it to be about 3 hours. This piece of this novel, which actually is a contained story with a little teaser on the end of it that I'm rather fond of. But anyways, it's about 6:15, I imagine. So it's time for me to get off here and try to have another good day. And so I wish you the same as far as having a good day. And I'm glad that I have better news to report than, like I said, visions of bullets dancing through my head, like lots of times. Though anybody can relate to that. They ask you that all the time, because that's like, have you had any suicidal thoughts yesterday? Or and have you had any suicidal thoughts lately? It's almost a standard thing. Your doctor will ask you that. Your psychiatrist will ask you that. Your fucking neighbor will ask you that. Damn near every professional person asks you that. Even this case manager guy that I'm going to see tomorrow asked me, like, well, if you were going to do it, how would you do it? He's trying probably to find out if I have a gun, if I want to take anybody with me or whatever. And I'm like, I'm not telling you that, dude. Don't worry about it. And tell him I have like a massive stockpile of a very effective pill called Doxapen. I probably have like 150 of them, but I read up on them. They're very effective. If I ever get to that point, which I'm not that point psychologically, because I find life too amusing, that I will suffer through CRPS, which is the highest rated by the medical community pain generating disease, the highest pain. I will suffer through it just because life is amusing. Even from an outside perspective, it's interesting and amusing watching people fall all over themselves. And what's going to happen next. That's the most important part of any story, is you got to get the reader thinking, well, what's going to happen next? It's like, what's going to happen next? What human foibles are going to be revealed in this story of mankind next? I want to see what happens. So I hang around for that reason. And yeah. But I can't help it. I get a little philosophical at times, like all the damn time. But they always ask you that. Um, like, have you been having any suicidal thoughts lately? Every fucking day for the for the last 25 years. Always telling the same thing. Like only a damned idiot would want to live in the or a fool would want to live in the condition that I have to live in. But I happen to be a fool, so it works out perfectly. And from a logical perspective, there's no reason for me to keep going, but I keep going because I have a good time, and I find life amusing, and I don't take it take things too seriously. Um, unless I'm being sprayed with poison or people are breaking my toes or I have meth heads living in the building or, I'm watching crack dealers throw TVs in my hallway outside my door, or if I have rotting, stinking garbage in my hallway, or, my life is being threatened or anything like that, then it's not quite as amusing, and then I kind of take it a little bit more seriously, but in general, you know, I don't mind. I don't mind appearing foolish, and I won't mind putting. I'll put my book up when I'm done, even though it's a rush job and I hate it. You know, I I I don't hate my book. I think my book is brilliant. Frankly, I mean, I hate me reading it. It's like it puts my teeth on edge when because that's the thing about the modern world and the fact that we have global media is you're not when if we still lived in little villages, you know, I would be a pretty good guitar player. But we don't live in little villages, so I got to compete against Eddie Van Halen, Jimi Hendrix, Steve Vai. You're competing against legends. If you're a writer, or a storyteller, you're competing against Tolstoy, or a more popular novelist like a Stephen King or a Dean Koontz or Anne Rice. So you're always competing against the best, you know, uh, all the time because of the media access we have. So it makes So when I read, I'm like, I'm always listening to audiobooks. So I'm like, oh, man, oh. But my hope is just not to mar the story, and that the story itself and the clever way that it's constructed comes through. I realize that I can't act. I can barely enunciate words correctly, and that I'm not good at this. This is not my thing. Doing an audiobook. I have trouble um, just I just have trouble with it, and we'll leave it at that. I gotta go. I gotta get out there and start march. Do it. Start marching. Left, right, left, right. I don't know, but I've been told. I don't know, but I've been told. Eskimo pussy is mighty cold. Eskimo pussy is mighty cold. Left, right, left, right, left, right. That'll be me here in about 10 minutes. Uh, I'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye.